our President-elect, Mr. Chris North.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, how many of you are nervous about Monday, your first day on the job? Good. Nervousness, is energy, and if you take that nervousness and you focus it on, starting your day right, doing the things you need to do, making sure you're on time, that you're prepared, that's how you use that nervousness in a positive way, and that's a lesson in life, by the way. I'm a little nervous standing up here in front of you. This is my first orientation where I'm up in front of a crowd like this, because I'm just starting as the president of the Washington Senate. Mike Smith has been the president for 12 years, and he's retiring August 31st. And in fact, September 1st is my first official day, so I'm cheating a little bit by being here in front of you. I'd like to welcome you on behalf of Ambassador Blinken, the chairman of the board of directors, and the board of directors to Washington, D.C. It's a great city. Some of you, don't have experience being in the big city. Others of you do. I hope those who do will help those who don't. Because this is a town that you should engage in, and you should enjoy and spend time in. And I'd also like to have you think about yourselves a little bit. What made you come here? What were you looking for? And be conscious of that through the next 15 weeks to make sure that the person you want to become is the person that you work hardest on, the person that you actually do become. As you'll find, and you'll hear this a lot, the Washington Center will do a lot to help you along the way. But when you look around at this room at each other, what you're seeing is people who are risk takers because you decided to come to Washington, be part of this program. You are smart. You are engaged in your environment and where you come from. You want to learn more. You want to do something with your lives. And so you're all leaders. And so in that vein, you'll find that leaders learn from each other. And so use your friendships that you'll build here, your companionships, the people who are in your rooms together, or the people you are at internship sites together, or the people who you spend time with who are at different internship sites. This is a unique opportunity, and I hope you'll take advantage of it. I know you will, but I just want to encourage you to really, really put the effort in, because you'll never have an opportunity like this again. A few things I'd just like to pass on, things that I've often told starting people are just starting a job, and in many ways you're just starting a job. Even though it's only for 15 weeks, this will be an experience that you'll learn a great deal from. And it's probably different than any experience you've had before. The first is reliability, which I mentioned just a minute ago. Be on time, be prepared. Your bosses, the people around you, your colleagues at your jobs, expect that of each other. And they will look to you to behave exactly the same way. If not, getting there a little early, there's nothing wrong with that either. It'll show initiative and it'll show commitment. In terms of initiative, volunteer, raise your hand, show that you're interested, show that you're curious. When you're with a colleague or a boss and you're finished the conversation, don't be afraid to say, is there anything I can do for you? It's an easy thing to do. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Because people like volunteers, people are trying to help each other. And that's about attitude, a positive attitude. I'm trying to get engaged, I want to know more. You'll find that the sites that you guys are going to be at are places where people also know they want to try to help you. And so utilize that. Don't be afraid to volunteer. The other thing I'd like you to think hard about, and there's no political persuasion in my comment, is that you guys are at a unique time in your lives, because this is the first time you will vote for president. And I hope you will all vote, at least those who can. But if you're not registered, think about registering. You're part of you're going to grow up in a society in which you are all participants. and how you decide to engage for the rest of your life, this is one of those first opportunities in your life you actually get to cast your vote, which is one of the most precious things you have in this country. And because you're in Washington, D.C., there's a lot of conversation about that, more than perhaps any other place in the country. And so this is a lively time to be here. It's a unique time to be here. And God knows it's a unique election. So, this is a wonderful time for you to be engaged, and I encourage you to do it. Just one of those other things that, you guys, might get in some discussions. You might get in some arguments. If you keep an open ear and you're willing to listen to other people's points of view, then however you decide to vote, it will be done in an educated and considered fashion. And so I really do hope that you'll do that. This is a great opportunity. I'm sure that we're setting up opportunities for people to engage in this kind of conversation, but this will be a fun time to be here in terms of those discussions. And I'd just like you to finish by saying, be the person you want to become. You're at a new place, new people. Nobody knows about who you were and where you come from, really. So you have an opportunity to do stuff that's different than you've done before and not feel intimidated by it. Try something new, do something different. Try something that is that you might be afraid of, because being uncomfortable at times, and this is things like speaking out in front of a group where you may not be comfortable doing that, you'll find that you take a little step, the next step will be bigger. And so I think, because you're here for 15 weeks and you're out of your comfort, it would have been easy for you to stay on campus, but you made a decision to come. Enjoy it. Take advantage of it. And I'm sure in 15 weeks at commencement, there'll be exuberation among this crowd. And while you may be a little nervous today, in 15 weeks, I'm sure you'll be jumping out of your skin to get going in your life and your career. So good luck to you. Be your best. I look forward to seeing you over the course of the next 15 weeks. Enjoy.
Thank you, Chris. As many of you all know, the Washington Center is founded on the belief that experience transforms. You all have been chosen to join over 55,000 people who have gone through our program and have been transformed. This experience, to Chris's point, has been designed by people who have lots of expertise in how that experience is going to grow you, how it's going to change you. But to Chris's point, it can only start with you. We can give you all the tools, but you have to take those on and use them. Our experience began before you got here with an amazing team of internship advisors who were collectively working together, intentionally, reflectively, to ensure that your internship was going to be of highest quality possible. It was going to be substantive. It matches what you want to do or where you see yourself going as a professional. And so what I'd like to do before we go into the rest of our orientation program is to take a moment to genuinely appreciate and applaud those folks who helped you get here. If I could. I like your exuberance, but we're going to do even better. So as I call their names, if they were your internship advisor, give them a big round of applause. Kinsey Holloway. Katie Mount. And Brian Buck. These are the individuals, plus others on their team, who have worked with you all for some of you with months to ensure that your experience is going to be transformational. So one more time, a round of applause for them. As you begin the semester, I want you to think about three things. One, that this is an ongoing, continual process. You're going to be shaped by everything and everyone you come in contact with. None of us are done, right? I've been at this for a long time. I'm not finished. I've got a lot to learn, a lot to do still. You're in the same boat. We all are continuously growing and changing and developing. If we're not, we've got a problem. So think about that as an idea of transformation. You're continually working through that process. The second thing is that this is only going to be as transformational and impactful as you allow it to be. You're the driver. right? So you get to make those decisions. We're just a vehicle for you to do those things and have those experiences. Challenge yourself to be open to anything and everything that comes your way in DC. Take advantage of the city. Take advantage of the 400 people in this room that you'll get to know over the next 15 weeks, because you are going to be our next generation. You're going to be the global leaders making changes. So make sure that before this semester is over, you know as many people in this space as possible, all right? And walk away with a super strong Rolodex, okay? Third, there are going to be moments where you feel like you're on top of the mountain. There are going to be moments where you feel like you're at the bottom of the valley, right? Both those moments are important. Revel in those ups and downs, because those are what teach us about who we are. Those are the areas where we really forge that fire of strength and that reflection on what are our areas of improvement. So don't shy away from those valleys. Those are just as important as those peaks, all right? So use this semester to figure out what those are. What are your ups and downs? What do you see coming your way? How do you work to ensure that you're handling those well, that you're growing you, all right? To share more about the way our program has been designed and how this experience is going to shape you, it is my pleasure to invite to the podium our Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Kelly.
Well, welcome everybody. I'm glad you're here. And as everyone has noted so far, it's a real exciting time to be in DC. You're really embarking on a unique, immersive, and integrated experiential opportunity. Frankly, it's one I wish we could say every college student in America had the opportunity to participate in. So in many ways, you're very lucky. You're part of the few. While you're here, we ask that you be participant observers. I think both Chris and Kevin have alluded to that. But what we'd like you to do is make sure you're observing everything that's going on around you. Observe what's happening in the workplace. Be observant in your classes. But as I've also said, be observant in cafes, on the metro, and be observant of the news. This is an exciting time to be embedded in politics. But also be active learners. Seek out every opportunity and be that person that wants to participate. Right? Be part of everything. Be present for everything. Most of all, I think what we really want you to do is to reflect about the experiences you're having. If you just have the experience and you're just checking off a box and just adding a line to your resume, it's not really that helpful for you, and it's not all that helpful for anybody. It's the reflection about the experiences that you're having that will make it lasting and impactful for you. You'll be able to talk about why this mattered for you. So reflect as you enter into all of these experiences, reflect about the kind of life and career you want to have. What kind of life and career you want to build? What does it take to build that? What does success and happiness look like for you? It's not the same for everybody. What does it look like for you? And we'll be asking you to reflect on that as well. Your ideas will likely change over time. Some of you come in here very clear that you want a very specific career type, and you leave realizing you actually are committed to similar issues, but you want a different type of career. That's the benefit of the kind of exploration you do. But be aware and reflect. If you start feeling differently, it does kind of get a little scary. I do remember the day I called my mom as a sophomore in college and said, I don't want to be a lawyer. I was scared to do that. I was reflecting on the changes in what I wanted for myself. So be aware of that. Be aware about what you're actually learning in your internship about yourself. Are you seeing new interests that you didn't know were there? Are you thinking more deeply about the kind of workplace you want to be in? Some workplaces will be hierarchical, some will be flat, some will be formal, and some will be casual. Some will be financially lucrative, and some will feed your soul. Maybe some will do all of it. But think about what you want in a workplace, and what brings out the best in you. What kind of environment brings out the best in you? Think about the kind of leadership you witness in the workplace, or the lack thereof. If there's a way you think a leader maybe could have done something better, think about it. Take mental note of that. All of these things will be important. You'll have job interviews where people will ask you about these kinds of things. Take note of them and remember examples of what you saw from your workplace, both good and bad. We also want you to reflect on how to best utilize your civic agency. As millennials, we know that you might be a little bit disenfranchised with the way that politics work today, but we know you're passionate about the issues that are in politics. We know you care about those things. So we'll be putting a lot of information and skills in front of you, ways to activate your civic agency. So be thinking about that as well, because we do expect and want you to be able to impact society in the way that you feel it should go. Perhaps what is maybe most exciting about a well-structured academic internship is that you will be able to bring all the skills and knowledge that you have learned in a university life or in life itself and apply them in an unscripted workplace. Your internship is not going to come with a predictable syllabus. The point is that unscripted component. So you have to react kind of quickly. You have to think about the things that you've learned in the past and apply them to a problem that might exist at 11 o'clock in your internship that didn't exist at 9 o'clock in your internship. Right? These experiences are profoundly important. And the way that you handle these in working in groups, right? In working to solve problems, in being able to articulate the solutions, either written or orally, those are all the exact kind of skills that future employers are looking for. Those are the soft skills. Then it's hard to build those skills just in a classroom or back on campus. But they're the kind of skills that you can build very purposefully in an internship experience. So be thinking about the time you worked in a group to solve a problem. Maybe be thinking about a time you failed and what you learned from the failure. These are all important components of what will happen this semester for you that will make the path forward easier. Another thing we think is very special about the Washington Center particularly is that you're going to be having this unique experience that in many ways is very focused on you, perhaps more so than your curriculum back on campus. But you're having it together with a very diverse group of students. You are, in our internship programs here this semester, you represent 17 countries. So you're from China and India and Spain and Switzerland. You represent 27 states and territories. So you're from Seattle and San Diego and Boston and Little Rock and a variety of cities in Puerto Rico. You're from all over, and you're going to be able to grow and learn together during the semester. So living in a global city, living in a global professional living learning community, these are real giant pluses about the Washington Center. To close, I want to say that my observations have been, in the time that I've been at the Washington Center, that the most successful participants have the kind of qualities Kevin and Chris have outlined. They're curious, they're flexible, they're open to opportunities, and they're open to feedback. So some of you are A students that maybe have never been criticized before, constructively, take it constructively, learn from it, grow from it, and you're hardworking. Those are the qualities that I've seen. So be a sponge, listen to what others are saying, ask others good questions, have interesting conversations, and more than anything, really begin to envision your future self. And that's see your future self and be able to move into that. So welcome, I'm excited for you. Like I said, this is going to be a wild ride of a semester here in Washington with the election, and I think you're going to have a great time. So with no further ado, I want to introduce Dr. Alan Gross, our Senior Director of Academic Affairs.
So good morning. Good, without any additional prompting as well. It's my pleasure at the Washington Center to work with things like curriculum and outcomes assessment, how you know that you're accomplishing the things that you're doing. I also direct the evening courses program, and I teach a course in philosophy of law, so I may meet some of you next week for that class, or some of you this afternoon for the courses open house where we can answer all of your questions. By academic training, I am a philosopher. I did all of my degrees in philosophy first from university, then came here to Washington, D.C., and then ultimately New York City to my PhD program. My interests are in political philosophy, so this town is as exciting and vibrant as everybody has said, and there's so much here to absorb and witness from the belly of the beast. History of ideas, and also the philosophy of education, because every good political philosophy needs a theory, an account of education. So I want to talk with you and actually challenge you to start thinking about what it means to learn this semester and to learn from your experiences. We say here at the Washington Center that experience transforms, but what really does that mean, and why do we do that? These are things that I want you to start thinking about. So for that why portion, fast forward, right, as you're envisioning that person that you want to be, the person that you're going to start really being right now, think of yourself at another point of transition in the future. You're, say, joining a new organization 5 or 10 years from now. You've got a first 90 days to sort of jump into the fire and then figure out how to survive and how to thrive. And what does that look like? Well, you're probably going in actually at a new leadership level, at a management level that you may not have been in before. But if you learn from experience, if you learn to take the lay of the land, observe everything that's going on around you, what the situation is, and connect that to the things that you've done in the past, to the things that you know are your strengths, you're going to be most likely not only to survive, but to thrive and help your new organization manage its challenges. The same thing can actually happen if you're moving up within one organization. So imagine you are in a law enforcement agency. Lots of people come here to the seat of federal jurisdiction to study law enforcement. And so imagine you're moving up to a new leadership position. Many of the challenges that exist for law enforcement, for instance, today, didn't exist 2 or 3 years ago, right? So there's not going to be an owner's manual, or there's not going to be a field manual for how to accomplish everything that you're going to need to help your organization in its new situation to accomplish. But if you're one of those people who can learn from their surroundings and figure out what you've done in the past and figure out how you're going to adapt that and transfer that to your new situation, then you're going to be an innovator at the time when your organization needs it, and you're going to be a leader who succeeds. You're going to be somebody who does more than just survive, but thrives and helps your organization or your community thrive. So that's why. Right? That's why you should be absorbing everything and being a participant observer and really reflecting. What does this really look like, though? We talk about this as a process of integrative learning. And this comes in several different steps. There's a common picture of learning that learning is like adding new information to an empty bucket. But Wikipedia is the biggest bucket you can imagine, and you don't need to do that with your mind. So better learning is learning where you draw the connections between the things that you've learned theoretically or through experience in other places, where you adapt and transfer your skills and abilities and competencies to new situations, and most importantly, where you are continuously and always reflecting, right? You're a lifelong learner from the things that you do, not just the things that you read. Right? What have you accomplished so far? What are your strengths? What new strengths do you want to build on so that you're ready for that next new challenge? That's going to be what it will mean in the richest way for this to be a transformational, experiential learning opportunity for you. So at the heart of this semester, we have developed a special collection of events and experiences that we call the LEAD Colloquium. And LEAD stands for Leadership, Engagement, Achievement, and Development. And it's going to be unlike anything that you've probably done on campus. So instead of having multiple choice exams or the like, we're not going to ask you to memorize things. Instead, we're going to create a space where you can work collaboratively with people from all over the country and around the world, learn from your fellow students, and really do a deep dive into everything that Washington, D.C. has to offer. So some Fridays, we'll start off in this room in a plenary session with the entire group here together. And please be on time because I'll be calling to order the Simpson Minetta Leader Series, and we will start on time. So you know where the room is now. We'll have several of those events, and those will be opportunities to learn from people who are leaders in their fields. They might be journalists, they might be experts at think tanks, they might be elected officials or business leaders. Other Fridays will start off with events that you can sort of choose the things that are on offer that you're most interested in. Pretty quickly we have coming up our career boot camp where you can look at different career development tactics that might be most of interest and most relevant to you. Other afternoons we'll have the opportunity to learn from different community partners here in DC about the issues of social concern that they address and how they engage people to try to make a difference on that. The real core of the learning, though, is going to be in a series of practical sessions where you're going to have just about 20 people in a relatively small group with a team of my colleagues, our lead instructors, who you'll get to meet here in a second. And this is where you're going to build the building blocks that will be that bridge to your future. You'll look at topics that will be relevant to the 21st century workplace, right? That may be reflecting on your values and your skills. It may be looking at the dynamics of a multicultural or multi-generational workplace. It might be writing a personal mission statement, right? On those mornings, you'll be looking at all of those particular pieces. How you put them together, though, is going to be unique to you. So think of them as steps in a spiral staircase that you can keep revisiting over and over as you navigate your overall career path. This is a lot to put together, a lot of different pieces. How can you possibly keep track of it all? Well, one answer to that is going to be your portfolio that you'll develop here. So over the course of the semester, we'll give you different assignments. You'll be doing things in your internship, you'll be doing things in your evening classes, and you'll compile all of these and build your TWC final portfolio. This will serve a couple of functions. One, it will be the evidence that's going to back up the grade recommendations that we send back to your campus liaison. So it's going to document all of your accomplishments for other people to see. But more importantly, it's going to give you something, an artifact, a set of artifacts to look at as you reflect on how you've learned from your experiences, all of the things that you can integrate together, including your academic, your professional, and your civic activities here over the next 15 weeks. So fast forward, the last assignment in that portfolio is going to be a capstone reflection. And that's going to be a signature assignment for you. There's no right answer because it's the story that you're going to tell about your time here. Right? It's going to be as rich and as interesting and full of accomplishments and lessons learned from things that might not have been as much of an accomplishment as you wanted them to be, but next time you're going to make them into accomplishments. Make that story that you tell deep with learning, deep with engagement and activity. Make it broad, connect those dots in the way that tells the story not just of what you've done, but the person that you are becoming and the leader that you will be 10, 15 years down the road when you become that person that you are envisioning for yourself. You've come to the Washington Center, people come here from all around the world, all around the country. It's an amazing place, an amazing city, a really special time to be in Washington, D.C. So start reflecting now about what story you're going to tell in that capstone reflection and beyond. I look forward with my colleagues to reading those and finding out everything that you've done over the semester. And we'll see you again shortly. Now to meet our colleagues, it's my pleasure and privilege to introduce Sherrod Williams, the director of our academic internship.
Thank you, Alan. Welcome, everyone, and good morning. As it was mentioned, my name is Sherrod Williams, and I have the great pleasure of serving as your Director of Academic Internship Programs here this fall. So essentially, I, along with my team, we manage your lead colloquium experience, everything that Alan just mentioned that happens on most Fridays, as well as during your time here in DC. So your time at the Washington Center will be further enhanced by a team of academic instructors known to you as the lead instructors, who will be working with you on the LEAD colloquium and your professional track explorations. So as Alan mentioned, LEAD is a carefully designed curriculum to provide you practical strategies to navigate your internships and careers. The LEAD instructors will guide and mentor each of you in synthesizing and contextualizing your educational experience within the frameworks of your professional and personal aspirations, your skills, values, and abilities, and assist you in extending your learning beyond the campus boundaries into your internships and so forth. So it's a great pleasure that I introduce you, the team that I get to work with on a daily basis, who will be your primary support while you're here in Washington, D.C.
Good morning, I'm Aaron Hood. I'm originally from Tampa, Florida. I went to Florida State University where I got a bachelor's degree in information technology, then made a transition to higher education administration where I got my master's from North Carolina State University.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Avi Kreiden, originally from Israel, by the way, I'm from California. I'm an undergraduate degree in anthropology from UC Berkeley and a master's in international education from University.
Hey everybody, I'm Chris Massaros. I'm originally from Minnesota. I have a BA from Michigan in philosophy and an MA from Wisconsin.
Hi, good morning. My name is Dana Wade. I'm from the California Bay Area. I earned my bachelor's from Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia, and I earned my master's in education from the City University of New York at Brooklyn College.
Hola, my name is Irene Rivera. I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm a lawyer. I did my Juris Doctor at the University of Puerto Rico, and I have a Master's of Laws from the George Washington University.
Good morning, my name is Kathleen Regan. I'm originally from the Philadelphia area, and I did my undergrad at Kent State University and my master's at George Washington's Graduate School of Political Management.
Hi, my name is Sam Lebo. I am actually a DC native. I went to the other Washington for my undergrad. I got my bachelor's at Evergreen State College, and I did my master's in international education at SIT Graduate Institute in Vermont.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tiffany Toston. I'm one of the managers of our department, along with Avi. And I am from St. Petersburg, Florida. I went to Howard University undergrad and got my bachelor's in psychology, and I have my master's in education from Howard as well. Welcome to Washington.
So as I mentioned earlier, you will be working with our team, whether it's in your lead small group or in your professional track programming. Sometimes you may have the same person, sometimes you may be working with a few different people. But we all welcome you here to Washington, D.C., and we look forward to working with you throughout the term. Thank you.
Thank you all. As we move into closing remarks, I want to share a couple of things with you all. One is that we have promised you a moment of transformation. I want you to keep three things in your mind at the forefront of your thoughts throughout the semester. The first being a concept of theory into practice. I want you to use every kernel of knowledge that you've each gained from your academic pursuits on your campuses, from your community work, from your community life, from your homes, whatever those areas may be where you gained information, knowledge, and put them into practice. I want you to walk in on Monday and show your internship site that you're the best intern they've ever had, right? And that they want you back forever, okay? So do that. Show them that you have a lot of knowledge. Show them you have a lot of ability. We don't know everything, right? Shake your heads out, maybe you don't know everything. Okay. But this is your chance to showcase that you have the skills to be a dynamic force on their team and that you can make a contribution, right? So to Chris's point, Kelly's point, Dr. Gross's point, Sherrod's point, don't hesitate to make an impact. Do that, all right? Don't be a wallflower. I know that's hard for some of us, not me, but for some of us, okay? So theory and practice. The second piece being ambition and a purpose, all right? You obviously all have a ton of ambition. You would not be here if you didn't, all right? It takes a very special and unique person to take a break from your campus life that you spent so many years building and developing to come to DC from all across the world to take an opportunity to do this. You're doing it for yourselves, which is great. So you have that ambition. That's clear. What you need now is purpose for that ambition, right? So use this 15-week experience to really hone in. What is that? What is that purpose, right? What do you see yourself doing in 5, 10, 15 years? That's a hard call, right? What is your purpose? But I want you to do that. I want you to really think about where you're going to go. Whether it's direct service, whether it's corporate, whether it's federal, whether it's education, whatever it might be. Think about what your purpose is going to be, how you use it, okay? The last is that idea of potential to achievement, all right? All of you all have an amazing amount of inherent potential. I say inherent because it's not actualized all the way yet, right? As I mentioned earlier, none of us are done. So I want you to really think about what's going to be achievement for you. I want to share a little story with you. 20 years ago, do you think I was in education? No, wrong answer. I wasn't. I was in medicine. I was doing biomedical research focusing on using nuclear radioisotopes to map neural pathways and damage from chromosomal issues. Sounds fun, right? Real good times. My parents were proud of that degree. Obviously, that's not what I was passionate about. That was not where my inherent potential was going to drive me to be in achievement mode. So I made a decision to go back and get a counseling degree and then start working in higher education. And that's where I found my ability to achieve, to be passionate, to have direct impact. And that was with college students. Fast forward a few more years, I found DC, the Washington Center, and the rest is history, right? So I want you all to do that. I want you to recognize that there is no closed door for you in this moment, right? Knock on it. The worst you can do is gonna know, right? Step through it. Try to figure out where you're going to go, what you're going to do. Many of you may have this path already worked out in your brain, and that's fine. That's great, and we will support that. But it's also okay to wander around a bit, right? Figure out what it is you really want to do. What's going to make you happy? What's going to make you a vital part of our community? What's going to make you a strong citizen of the world, right? So do that this semester. Use this time as that incubation period, as that really, really amazing ability to experiment and figure out what it is you want to be. And think hard on that. Reflect on that, okay? You will have the opportunity this semester to truly kick off your own personal destiny. Choose to do so. So that's where in 15 weeks, I'm going to ask you all those questions. I'll probably ask you as I see you through the semester. But how are you actualizing your own personal destiny? All right? I want to thank you all for making the very wise choice to be an adventurer, to be a champion of self, and to make the decision to come to Washington, D.C. and be a part of the Washington Center program. So on behalf of my colleagues and everyone else that's connected to the Washington Center, congratulations and happy fall. Thank you. A couple of quick announcements, nothing major, and then we'll release you to do everything else that we need to do today. Review your schedule. Chris said this earlier, but it's one of my biggest things that I want to talk about. Be on time, you all, right? I don't want to lecture every day. So be on time. Look at your schedules. Know where you have to be. If you're confused, ask. There's a whole row on this front row here of people who can help you. So look at your schedules. Make sure you know where you have to be today, tomorrow, Monday. Shh. Yeah, I'm still talking, everyone. Hey, over here.
Slide, please.
Nicely done. Second rule is respect. Pay attention to people who are speaking at the podium. All right? Thank you. Today's going to be full. Get some good rest. Have a good time this weekend. Get ready for Monday. Make the best impression possible. All right? Thank you all. Have a good day.